don't expect your home country, because if you come with those expectations of your home country, you'll be disappointed. And again, a lot of the people who I've met over the past 10 years, they came thinking Korea would be this, or they came and they complain that Korea doesn't have this. Still, like, don't expect things to always go the way you want them to, because you're used to it in your own country. Yeah, my name is Mike Coleman, and I'm from the US, and now I've been living in Korea for almost a decade. There were people who I knew in high school who got me into Korean culture. Now, it was Korean Americans, so it's not the exact same as Korean culture, right? But it was a start. A friend of mine invited me to Taekwondo class, and I went with him, and I loved Taekwondo. I fell in love with it. Then he's like, hey, come with me to my Korean church. So I was like, cool. So I came with him to his Korean church, and then I started spending time with all those people there, right, in the Korean church, a lot of Korean Americans. After like hanging out with them, I started to gain an appreciation for Korean culture. So then that's when I made that jump to come to Korea. It was people. People were the reason why I came to Korea. And a love of the culture. I was very curious about the culture and just really wanted to know more about this place. So for the past like 7, 8 years, I was an international school teacher, and so I was working with a lot of students who speak English normally, and I would teach them as a homeroom teacher, like science, math, history. But recently, I'm taking a break from teaching, and now I am just a full-time content creator, just teaching English online, and so on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And so my name is American Mike, just that I had in there. Yeah, so like, what was the question? What is it like living in Korea? Like, it really just depends on the person, because I was in an international school. We were all there for teaching. We were all there for like a similar purpose. And we're all leaving our homes from the other side of the world or wherever else in the world. And so because of that, you know, we had like a deeper bond. And so I had a lot of my friends in international school life, right? But I think it's just when you try to like go outside of that community, that international community, and you're with like trying to make more Korean friends, it can be challenging, but it's not impossible. You have to kind of go out and just do it. I know a lot of people who say they had trouble with finding Korean friends. But for me, like I did jujitsu for a very long time. And so most of the people in my jujitsu class are Korean. And so I had to speak in Korean a lot of times to them. And you know, sometimes we'll go and like get something to eat after practice, or like there'll be like MT, I guess in the summer, like we'll go to like the beach or something and I'll hang out and stuff. And so I ended up getting a lot more Korean friends from just joining something. Like I know other people go and do Pilates or yoga or biking or dance. And so they kind of meet a lot of Korean friends that way. And so mine was jujitsu. So this is 2014, right, when I came. I remember kind of studying before I left for Korea. Got to Korea. First restaurant I went to, salguksu restaurant, right? I sat down and I looked at the menu. And I kept looking at the menu, and I forgot how to read all of a sudden. I was so nervous, I forgot everything at that moment. And also, I didn't know what salguksu was. That's another problem. So I went to this restaurant, sat down, and I didn't know what to order. I just pointed at what I wanted, and it was like Russian roulette, man. It's just like whatever came, it just came. And so luckily, I ordered like just the regular salguksu, nothing like crazy or anything. And from then I was like, man, I gotta study Korean. As I studied more Korean, it opened up more doors for me. Conversational skills, especially, that's what I focused on. A little bit of academic Korean, but more conversational Korean. And so I gained more friends, for one thing. I had some more opportunities in media as well. So like being in like YouTube videos, doing some TV stuff before but I didn't really have a strong passion to do like TV stuff. So I kind of like, I let that go. Also, I ended up getting married in Korea as well. Right, her family, most of them only speak Korean. And so I knew that I really need to get a good understanding of Korean if I want to survive. Because I also don't want to be that husband that has a Korean wife and then I just know 안녕하세요, 감사합니다, and 맥주. Like, I don't want those to be my 3 Korean words, right? I don't want that. And so I was like, I have to get the language. And so, but because my wife's family is from like 경상도, like 거제도 and like Gumi, and those areas down south, like it's already hard to understand the Korean. And so I'm understanding what they say more and more and more. I'm now at the point where if everybody's talking at the dinner table, I can follow the conversations. It takes a really long time. But I've also seen other people where one person can speak their language and they can speak a little bit of the other person's language and vice versa. I would definitely recommend if someone wanted to date someone from that's Korean, right? And they're non-Korean, try to understand a lot of Korean. Like if you're dating, okay, you're dating, right? If you're getting married, it's different. You're not marrying one person, you're marrying the entire family. And so you have to understand that now, if you don't speak Korean, then the person that you're marrying, it would be nice if you understand their language, like they would appreciate it a lot, but the whole family would appreciate it even more if you can speak that language. If you really start to understand the language, then you can understand the people more. You can understand like the family more. And I find that you become a part of the family. It's deeper than if you just like, you're married to the family, but you're still on the outside. So that's why I think it's very important to understand language and culture. Exposing yourself to the language, because very easily you can come to Korea and if you don't expose yourself to the language, or even food at that, if you don't expose yourself, then you'll come here and you'll be surprised. You might be a little timid to learn the language. You'll be afraid to eat the food, or like you'll only eat what feels safe to you. And you're only living life half full, right? You're not really living the life that you could be living. And so one, I think pre-expose yourself to these things. That will better prepare you. Two, don't expect your home country, because if you come with those expectations of your home country, you'll be disappointed. And again, a lot of the people who I've met over the past 10 years, they came thinking Korea would be this, or they came and they complained that Korea doesn't have this. And don't get me wrong, like I still complain after being here 10 years. Naturally, I complain like, oh, this is stupid, this is stupid. But a lot of times the things I say is stupid, other Koreans is like, yeah, that's stupid, that's pretty stupid, you know? And so it's okay to complain, but still like, don't expect things to always go the way you want them to, because you're used to it in your own country. And I think the third thing is be flexible, just adapt. I think that is a very important skill in just life, not just coming to Korea, but just life. If you can be flexible, if things happen, you adapt to it. You're like, okay, this sucks. I don't like it. Let's change this. Let's do something good with what just happened. And because a lot of things can happen here. Let's say you have a parent that gets sick back home, right? And that's also happened to me before as well. And so, and you're really far away from your family and it's a really tough time, right? It's really good to be flexible, to adapt to these situations and be able to just survive. So I feel that when I came to Korea, I became an adult. Like I came here when I was 27, and I feel that I became an adult from when I was 27, 28, because I learned how to rely on myself. I learned how to make adult decisions and be away from my family and be able to flourish, to grow and to shine. So I think these three things are really important. living overseas or coming to Korea?